This the story of crypto blood and truth blitz. Ask them a cliff high what the truth is. They was just talking about the blockchain. That's when they heard Janet yelling and the cops came. They said give me all your Bitcoin and lock aim. Then Jamie Dimon showed up and the shots rained. So they hopped in the Lambo and took off fast. Welcome to the Block Party Podcast.
Speaking of crypto, let's talk about the PayPal CEO.
Yeah, so Silvertooth, I know you did a video about that. You covered that a couple days ago. What are your thoughts? What are your thoughts about the CEO saying that Bitcoin is essentially a scam? Those are some harsh words.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I just did a video about 2 hours ago, actually, about that.
Oh, was it? Okay.
And just uploaded it. I don't know. It's probably another one, but it was the ex-CEO, I believe, that did that.
Ex-CEO. You're right.
And that's probably the reason he's the ex-CEO. He's a little crazy, if you ask me. And his theory was that he could write up 21 million autographs and limit it to that, and that would not mean that it's worth anything. So that was his relationship with that. Just because there's 21 million of something doesn't mean it's worth anything, and no one wants his autograph, not even one person, let alone 21 million of them.
What
I think
a horrible analogy.
Right.
And it just shows a lack of understanding for crypto, which I'm very shocked that a guy that was CEO. How long ago was he CEO?
I don't know.
He got ousted in 2000.
Oh, okay. So that was way, way, way back.
Yeah,
okay, that was 18 years ago. Wow.
So he's a nobody.
Yeah. Okay. So he may not be technically inclined.
Maybe not.
Well, it's not a maybe. It shows, right?
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, obviously, unless he is, unless he's just trying to, what's the terminology I'm looking for? I guess, toe the anti-crypto line, the anti-Bitcoin line. Like, we've seen so many in the mainstream media, and certain people do. Even though a lot of them have come around and came out, George Soros, people like that, which scares me for other reasons, but come around and change their positions on it. Who knows? I mean, who knows why this guy's, if he genuinely thinks that, or if he's just trying to, because he was the CEO of a huge tech company, that people, he thinks that people will, take his word as gospel. Who knows?
I think he has an agenda here.
Right. That's what I think.
If you read the article there, he says he believes in blockchain, and he believes that all money will go to digital currency, but he doesn't think it's Bitcoin. AKA, he's waiting for the government to come up with something for us, is what he's coming about and roundabout saying there. So he's trying to kind of support something like that when we already have something in place. You know what I mean?
Okay. I didn't know that. So he does believe in blockchain.
Yeah, he believes in blockchain, and he believes in digital currency. He just wants the man to make it for him.
As long as it's a centralized digital currency.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Okay,
but the problem with this is they charge up to 10%. PayPal does. And that's, like I said in my video, if you get $1,000 thing, that's $100 transfer fee. They're going to be a thing of the past. When you can do it on the blockchain and use like Litecoin and things like that, and charge a fraction of that cost. So they're a dying dinosaur anyway. So PayPal is going to be history in the future anyway, as long as we can get that mainstream in place and we can use crypto. So
PayPal's current CEO, however, is bullish on Bitcoin.
Right. So go ahead and use it then. Put it in place and let's use it.
What's funny is I got my PayPal account suspended for selling Bitcoin on eBay.
I remember you telling me that.
Yeah, it was, I noticed how much higher than spot Bitcoin was going for on eBay. So I'm like, well, let me sell, point 0.005s and 0.01s, and it's ridiculous. So I would sell it, and then go and buy more and have even more than I sold with what I made. Well,
nice little arbitrage there.
Right. But long story short, they, you know, it was a scam. Basically, people are getting scammed because they go and say that they didn't authorize the payment. Someone else used their account. I end up having to pay back the money and lose my Bitcoin and my money. And then on top of it, I get my account suspended for selling digital currency without being a licensed money transmitter. So,
yep,
you know,
makes sense.
Yep,
makes sense.
I didn't know when I did it. I just say, hey, whatever.
yeah. So I don't know, man. PayPal, they're going to be history if they don't adapt. I think they will. Yeah. And you, to bring up kind of double back on, we were talking about like Pillar and other projects and stuff. Wasn't there is a new, you talked about this on one of your videos, a new project that's going to be like possibly threatening?
Yeah, but
Pillar or whatever.
It's still very, it's called Data Wallet, I believe.
Okay.
I think it's still, but that's the only really aspect of it that is like Pillar. It's the, you know, taking back your data.
Oh, okay.
Personal data.
What about Robinhood? Like, I can see Robinhood really taking market share from PayPal.
Yeah, I haven't really checked out Robinhood personally yet, even though I've heard about it for a while now. I really still haven't personally gone and checked it out. So I don't know. I mean, is it used a lot?
I don't know. I mean, on the investing in the traditional markets like equities and stuff, you know, the millennials are using that a lot.
Okay, and I know they were waiting to get they had to get approval for all the states to be able to use it. And I don't know if that happened or not. That was a couple months ago, I think. But they had a lot of coins and tokens that they were going to be launching. So, I mean, I think if anything, that would be more of a threat to Coinbase than PayPal, but I don't know.
Yeah, I guess you're right. But it's so easy to add a feature in there to share money back and forth with any of these. I mean, even Circle, I can see Circle being a competitor. So PayPal better get it together like in the next year. Seriously.
I think they will. I mean, they've been around forever. I don't think they're gonna, let themselves die.
No, I don't think so either.
They'll probably adapt, especially Peter Thiel is the CEO, so I don't think he's gonna, he'll change with the times, in my opinion.
Yeah, he's a smart guy. I used to follow him a lot.
Yeah.
So let's talk about another smart guy, a weird looking dude, but he's very smart. Vitalik. He said he's boycotting the Consensus Conference, 2018 Consensus Conference. He says he strongly encourages others to do the same. He lists a few reasons. One being CoinDesk is recklessly complicit in enabling giveaway scams. He then goes on to say, second, the coverage of EIP 99 or 999 was terrible. They published a highly sensationalized article claiming the chain would split when it was very clear that it wouldn't. And then he lists another one. Thirdly, he said their reporting policies are designed to trap you with gotchas. Yeah, CoinDesk is a clickbaiting type of news feed, man. They've changed over the years.
So is Cointelegraph, though.
Yeah, Cointelegraph has changed as well, man. What do you think about Silvertooth, Vitalik boycotting this Consensus Conference coming up? It's actually next month. I'll be there at the tail end, and we'll get into that. But what do you think about that?
Well, you're richer than me, man. It's about $3,000 to get in there, and I couldn't make that.
No, I'm not going. No. Let me help you understand. I'm not going to the conference. No, I'm not spending $3,000 on the conference. I'm actually going to the crypto influence portion of it. They have like a party that Thursday.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I'm gonna be there hanging out Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. But no, I'm not. I could not spend $3,000 on the
Yeah,
consensus conference.
My house cost $3,000. I'm a poor boy. I don't have no money, so.
Where's that consensus conference going to be?
In New York, near you. You should come down. It's the party is on Thursday, down in Midtown, down there. So you might want to come out.
My opinion is anything that gets the word about crypto shouldn't be boycotted.
See that was my response. I responded to Vitalik. I'm like, I feel where you're coming from. That's all cool, but come on, man. I'm glad that cryptocurrencies is not the one person isn't the face of cryptocurrencies. The consensus conference is going to go on. It's probably going to be huge, you know, bigger than last year still, and I think that's a good thing. I understand where he's coming from, but doing a boycott, in my opinion, was probably not the best way to kind of, you know.
I mean, did they knowingly do this? Probably not, right? Did they know they didn't knowingly do this knowing it was a scam? So, or did they? I mean, I don't know. I really didn't check into all the info on it, but I can't see them knowingly.
And I don't think it is a scam. I think it is a real OMG giveaway.
So what the hell's his deal?
He doesn't like those types of marketing tactics that Coinbase is.
Listen, this freaking dude also hates anybody that talks about Lambos. So I mean, really, I don't give a shit what Vitalik thinks. You know what I mean? Like, when Lambo has become like synonymous with crypto.
Man,
so if you know you're gonna hate on people for wanting Lambos, then you know, I mean, listen, you're a smart dude, and I give him props for for making Ethereum, which is huge. It's huge. I couldn't do it, but you know, but still, man, I don't know, man. Maybe he's got a couple screws loose on top of it. I don't know. Who knows?
Yeah. Like, I have to agree with Silvertooth. If any event is spreading the word, allowing people to come together collectively, you know, and synergize and make new friends within the crypto community, I think it's a good thing. As long as it's not like a big connect conference.
Right. Yeah, exactly. I mean, I don't know. I fully agree with that as well. I mean, we need to be able to get the word out, and that's for him to come out and boycott it because of that is, I don't know, it's ridiculous to me. Seems like he's very salty, and I really don't know why he's so salty. You know, I could speculate, but I'm not going to because it'll sound mean.
This one guy said, "Why don't you call out more of the scams ICOs being built on the Ethereum blockchain?"
Exactly. Yeah. Anybody can launch a scam ICO on
talk about that. Right. So I don't know, man. I actually went through and read a lot of these comments. A lot of people were kind of echoing the same kind of comments we just expressed. So yeah, what are your thoughts about Coinbase dropping WikiLeaks?
Oh yeah. You threw me for a loop there for a second. I forgot what you're talking about.
No problem.
All right. I do a lot of videos. You know what I mean? I think that was their main source of income, was it not? That was their out. They couldn't get paid in cash, so people were donating through, and that's kind of chopping their head off financially. And to give them no reason of why, just to say, hey, you're cut off now and you can't use that. They're gonna have to find another avenue, and I'm not a fan of Coinbase at all.
No, they could use coin. Why am I drawing a blank here?
Coin payments.
Yeah, they could use that. I mean, you send it right from Coinbase to Coin Payments, and they could still get it. But I think it was a political statement, plain and simple. It was, you know, I think it had to do, and that's what I talked about in my video. I think it had to do with the fact that WikiLeaks, along with, you know, others as well, are being sued by the DNC because of the whole Russia thing that the mainstream media just cannot let go, which still hasn't been proven. So I think that's exactly what it is, and that's my opinion. But I know others.
Cheap Air,
others think that as well.
Cheap Air dropped Coinbase as well. They said it was because of the switch from Coinbase Merchant to some new platform that Coinbase is using, that they won't be able to, how they're processing their payments, won't be able to utilize Coinbase. But I don't know, man. I'm getting really fed up with Coinbase. I mean, I remember when Coinbase first launched, it was a neat tool. It was able, you were able to sign up, no KYC. I mean, this is back in the days, but yeah, they've shifted, man. They're shifting more and more toward being like that, And I talked to Ken Bozak about that. Like, Coinbase is going to be the Google of cryptos. They just acquired.
Wasn't it him who said Coinbase is a bank? Period.
Yeah. Coinbase
and F banks.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right.
And
I saw that tweet.
Yeah, that's what's happening, man. And it's crazy. But I think that's just what happens every time you have a centralized entity. They get pressured by governments and to conform. So that's why we have to just make sure, I believe we have to make sure that we promote companies that are more decentralized in nature as far as the organization of them. That way no government can come and press and change the direction of that entity, That was another thing I talked about in my video today, was about Charlie Lee. Charlie Lee talked about how Litecoin is really centralized and he thinks that's a good thing. And I was like, wow, I dropped the link so you guys can check it out in my video, but it was kind of shocking to see that he felt that way. And it also made me kind of think about when Charlie Lee sold all his Litecoin at the top of the market. We talked about that, Nick. That's kind of suspicious.
We talked about his previous statements, though, when him and Vitalik were going back and forth. We talked about that. I forget which episode it was, but about how he said that basically Litecoin or Ethereum, they were going back and forth with each other, how essentially they are in a way centralized because, nothing can really happen without the consensus from the Ethereum Foundation or the Litecoin Foundation.
Right.
So is that what he meant in what you're talking about in your video today?
Yeah, but he went further. He's like, he believes that centralization is good. And to a certain extent it is, but I think it has to be low. It has to be very small control by like the core team. And I will say, man, that's why over all of these other coins, tokens, and all of that, even though Bitcoin, I have my gripes about Bitcoin. Bitcoin has no face.
Yeah,
it has no face. That's the only one. Like Litecoin, Bitcoin Cash, all of these, ICO tokens and all that, they have a face, man. So,
can you imagine if it did?
Oh man, it would have failed by now. I think it would have failed by now.
They'd be scrutinizing the people that made it, following their every moves, trying to trip them up,
kill
them,
assassinate them. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. So
that's another reason why decentralization or centralization, in my opinion, is not good. You know what I mean? If it's centralized, it's common knowledge. It's easier to control. You just have to target those people who are in control of it.
You take an example of Napster. I know you guys remember Napster. Napster was a centralized company that allowed for a decentralized sharing of music.
Right.
You see what happened to them?
Yeah.
Yep. So.
Exactly. But yeah, I'm gonna have to look into that. I didn't know he went and talked about that further.
Yeah, he was talking to the 10x co-founder.
Oh yeah, because and I was gonna bring that up actually. That they're since LightPay got killed, and the the CEO was apparently scamming the Litecoin Foundation. That he's supposed to be there, or 10x is going to be launching essentially the same kind of thing.
Okay.
So, and I don't know. I was under the impression that 10x really couldn't, even now in Europe, they were they couldn't even move forward with the cards. You know, I don't know all the details about that, but I know first it was the United States didn't have authorization to for use of their cards, but Canada did. Then Canada did, and it was all North America, just Europe. And now, from what I'm hearing, Europe can't either. I think it actually didn't Bix talk about that. I think he did.
I'm not surprised. I mean, you know, you're using MasterCard and Visa's network to circumvent the fiat cabal system. I can't see, and it's not even, to me, I don't think it's so much that Visa and MasterCard don't want to do it because they'll make money. It's the governments that they, you know, the lobbyists, and they're always, you know, they're in bed with each other. So if the government says, hey, you can't, you guys, you got to stop that, they're gonna stop it.
Right. So, but you know, I'm wondering how they're going to move forward with you know, Litecoin payments through 10x on a card when
I don't know.
You know what I mean? That doesn't make sense to me.
I don't know how it's going to work. Maybe they're planning on doing their own remittance network where it's yeah.
But it kind of makes you think, though, talking about, you know, we kind of brought up about, you know, Coinbase and the direction they're heading, and you know, makes you think that, you know, the only two that I know of really in the U.S. that you can use are Shift and BitPay. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So,
and why is that? I'll say this now because of, you know, the status with Centra, but I had conversations with Sam at one point about, I'm like, look, man, you guys need to get away from relying on MasterCard for your payments. You need to build your own POS, your own point of purchase units or devices, and those cards have an encrypted wallet on the strips, and you guys do the payments that way over your own networks. And he said, yeah, that's we're working toward that. They were actually working on doing something like that. So I don't know.
Makes you wonder. Makes you wonder. You know, my conspiracy side starts.
There you go. Right.
Starts twitching, and I'm like,
Yeah, I never said anything publicly about that, but yeah, they were working on. He said they were already working on something like that, and
then they got taken out.
Yeah,
that's yeah, I don't know, man. I mean, I don't. It's hard to say. You know, with everything that happened with them, you know, yeah, they made mistakes in the beginning, and in a way they did commit fraud. So
yeah, they definitely made some. They did some fake it till you make it type stuff, which
right.
Honestly, in business, I'm a business guy. There's been times when I had to fake it till I made it. So I understand, you know, is it right? No, not really. But a lot of business practices aren't right. You know, it's just business. Right.
I mean, the point is they had a working. They
didn't scam people.
Together.
Yeah, they didn't scam people out of their money. I'm sorry.
Right. They got their shit together. They put out a working product, and then, you know, it's not like they just took all this money and said, hey, we promise we're going to do this, and they just never did it. You know, they did what they said they were going to do, and were working towards improving it. And, you know, look where they are now. Yeah. So it kind of, you know, it kind of makes me wonder, is there more to that? Why they took them down like that? You know, I mean, it
definitely spooked me out of messing with any U.S. based companies for now. I mean, I did buy some at a penny and a half, but that was just to speculate.
The only thing I have left is Very, and I haven't sold my Very. Okay. And, that's the only thing I have left that is U.S. based.
Okay. What are your thoughts about Very, Silvertooth? I don't think I hear you talking about Very too much.
Yeah, I still love Very. I still got I think 35 of them.
Okay.
35 something like that.
Mm-hmm. So do you think Reggie is going to run into any regulation issues here in the States?
I think that the whole thing relies on the government, and we're all waiting for the government, and we're waiting for the people to overpower the government, basically. What I mean by that is the more people that get into blockchain, the more people that get into this, the more they realize that they can't control it. And to the point that, like right now, they're wanting to tax every little thing. And I think that's why Centro went down, and they're trying to tax every little thing. And to the point where you don't want to use cryptos to trade for money. So you use money instead, or you stay away from cryptos. And it gets to that point. I don't know how the system's going to work, but if you're trading cryptos in the milliseconds and you're having to pay tax on that and record each transaction and then do all that, I don't know. But once the media or the mainstream comes in and they've overpowered this, and we have millions of people doing millions of transactions a second, the government's going to be like, forget about it.
Right.
There's nothing to do at that point.
Right.
I hope that's the case.
That's when crypto wins. That's when crypto wins.
I hope that's the case because, yeah, just the tax aspect alone, which we haven't really talked about today, is, you know, just thinking about if you've done any amount of trading and you have to report every single thing, man, it gives you the biggest freaking anxiety attack ever. You know what I mean? Like, it's the most overwhelming thing to even think about it.
Right.
And it's like, and not only that, you know, you could essentially end up owing money when you lost money.
Absolutely.
It just doesn't even make sense. You know,
Absolutely.
the whole thing is a sham. And it's ridiculous, and I hate the friggin' IRS.
Well, you would definitely be in a situation right now. Let's say, you know, with April 17th was the deadline. If you didn't have that, because we took a huge 80%. A lot of people I kind of just got a post check on out there in the web out rooms and stuff. People, I mean, 70% loss in total portfolio values, 80%. If you don't have the money for that tax liability, it's not like you could sell. If you did sell your cryptos, you'd be selling a lot of them to cover your gains from the previous year. So it could become a nightmare, man.
Right. I think that was pre-planned.
Yeah,
I think that was pre-planned because pretty much you have to unload your whole portfolio to cover your losses from last year, and then you're out of the crypto game.
Very could well be. You know, I mean, that's
nice point.
And I think Bix said that too. You know, this is all by design. They did this to, you know, I forget exactly how he said it, but or maybe he said that they left all these things open without really giving any concrete, you know, regulations or anything. But he talked about the IRS thing as well, the tax thing. You know,
it's very ambiguous on purpose for sure. Is it correlated as far as a crash to move? I don't know. I personally don't think so. I don't think it's that coordinated, but them being very ambiguous about their guidelines, absolutely. It makes everyone just like, I'm gonna just tell them everything. I don't know what to tell them, what to not, you know. And so it just it forces you to show your card.
Right. And I think I made a video about, you know, about this. I think CoinDesk maybe did an article where I talked to a so-called tax expert, but I don't know much about the guy. But you know, we all were under the impression that starting 2018, that's when we had to report our crypto to crypto exchanges on our tax returns, on our, you know, so on and so forth. But this guy's basically saying, for the most part, what he said, and it wasn't using exact words, but you know, I wouldn't not report those like kind exchanges for previous years. You know, basically he would, because if you don't, you could get jammed up, even though it's supposed to be okay because there was no regulation in place saying that you had to. So that's kind of a scary thought. And I kind of put out, you know, the question to my subs, you know, anybody who reported their crypto on their tax return, you know, did they get hemmed up? Did they get audited? You know, I want to know. I want to know if anybody who reported any kind of crypto activity on their tax returns, you know, did everything go through cool? Everything was all right? Or, you know, did they look at you through a microscope after that?
You know, my man Don out of West V, he's one of my subs. He called in on my last off the chain live stream I did a few weeks ago, and he made a very profound statement. Like, he's like, I would rather you guys not report your taxes, because if you do, if you make a mistake and you don't do it accurately, they now have a trail back through every transaction you ever did. And if you were to ever get audited,
you've now committed fraud.
Yep.
Yep. Because once you sign that taxes, you've declared this as the whole and honest truth. And anything left out or put out is a lie. So you might be adding extra that you don't need to, and then you're therefore required by law to pay that, even if you don't owe it.
Yep.
So it's best to, in my opinion, leave it out. And where are these tax people that you can go to that are dedicated to cryptos? Who can I even go to as a tax professional to do my crypto taxes for me?
Well, we had two separate individuals on, and they had conflicting views, right, Nick? So it's just like...
Well, I think one might have been, wait, I don't remember.
I think I had one on my show, right? And then
you had one on yours, which I believe also, though, was before the new year.
Yeah, it was.
Okay, and then ours was after, so maybe that's why they had conflicting views. I don't know,
Possibly.
but still, I've even seen, you know, different tax experts, whether it's in articles or on other people's channels or doing their own videos, you know, this year have conflicting views as well. So
they love it.
I don't know, man.
Government loves it. They love that confusion.
One thing's for sure is there's not enough people who, you know, would even know what to do with crypto taxes. My landlord is an accountant or a CPA, and I would never go to him. Never. He'll probably screw my taxes up anyway without crypto because he's an idiot. But I don't know.
Hey, you got a lot of those. They don't know how to do it with just fiat, right? Let alone crypto, right?
So yeah, it's crazy, man. But it very well could be by design, you know. Oh, this is too much of a hassle, so I'm not even going to bother with crypto. It's not worth it.
Yeah.
You know.
True.
Makes sense.
Yeah. So, Silvertooth, any last thoughts for this year coming up? What are your, predictions on Bitcoin and all that good stuff, man? Where do you think we'll be by the end of this year?
I have no clue. I did my video on my 2018 prediction. I'm kind of standing by that. It's been going pretty much spot on for now. We had a dip that we're in right now, and we're coming out of it. And I figured we'd go up in price a little bit throughout the summer, and then we'd hit a high peak towards the end of the year. And that's just what I'm predicting. I don't know though. You never know.
You never know. Anyone that's confident about where the price of Bitcoin will be, X any type of tool like Cliff High has, where he's actually going out and grabbing data points. If you're just saying you're an expert about it and you know where the price, don't believe in people.
It's funny. I just real quick, I was watching Omar Bam's news last night, and he had a thing. He was like, it was just a picture, and it said list of I forget what it said, list of crypto influencers you should trust, and then it was just that was it. It was blank under. Blank
yeah.
So
right.
I like that.
Funny. It was funny.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, and it really. And it's true, you can't rely on anybody, me, you, Silvertooth, nobody to do your due diligence for you.
What president was that said trust then verify? I don't know if it was Roosevelt or Hoover. I don't know which, but yeah, it was a quote. He said trust then verify.
Yep,
so
pretty much.
You definitely want to do your own due diligence, people, and make your own decisions. That's what cryptos are all about.
100%.
Well, I think that may wrap up this episode, number 10 of the Block Party Podcast with our favorite dude, Silvertooth.
Yeah.
Thanks, man, for coming on again. Good to see you.
Thanks for having me.
No problem, bro. Have a good one.
You too.
They was just talking about the blockchain. That's when they heard Janet yelling and the cops came. They said, give me all your Bitcoin and lock aim. Then Jamie Dimon showed up and the shots rained. So they hopped in a Lambo and took off fast. Welcome to the Block Party Podcast.